Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to my virtual flash talk. My name is Kristen Okorn, and I'm a postdoc at NASA Ames Research Center. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about our data product of low-cost sensors co-located with remote sensing instruments. And the data is available at this QR code here, which I'll have later on the talk as well. So to first introduce some ground-based monitoring efforts, which I'm sure we're all really familiar with, I have the map of regulatory grade monitors in California here, which can be really helpful for monitoring purposes, but in particular for EJ applications, usually isn't high enough resolution, even though it's very high data quality to be useful in a lot of these applications. So low-cost sensors have been really popular over the past decade or so in filling these monitoring gaps because they can be placed at much higher spatial scales. So the image that I have on the side here is from a deployment that we did in Los Angeles around 3 different oil and gas facilities marked with stars, directly in the city of Los Angeles, where each of the dots is a different low-cost sensor that we're able to put out and really better understand neighborhood scale air quality differences that were affecting community members on the health scale. So we kind of thought about ways that we could take this same application of the low-cost sensors, making our regulatory data more useful in filling gaps there, and how we could apply that to satellite measurements. So a lot of people in this group are using satellite measurements for their EJ applications. And aside from the pixel size, one of the really big limitations can be that the whole column measurements that we're often looking at aren't necessarily indicative of the air pollution at the surface, or that the surface estimates aren't super well validated and may not be entirely accurate. What people are experiencing in health and environmental justice senses. So we were thinking a lot about how to use our low-cost monitors to help with this. And what we've done essentially is co-locate our sensors with ground-based remote sensing instruments to help understand how at the exact same place spatially and in time, how well that the satellite estimates are at understanding ground level air quality. So to that point, this slide shows the deployment that we took on this past summer, where we have added a low-cost sensor to all of the relevant ground-based remote sensing instruments in California. So that includes 7 Pandora spectrometers, which measure ozone, NO2, and formaldehyde. So that'll be really important for tempo validation when the data becomes more available next year. And the TCON network as well, which there's only 2 of in California, which measures a lot of different carbon species. So essentially, you'll see that we have our inset monitor here, which is the brown and silver box next to the Pandoras, which are the white instrument, and then the TCON, which is this big dome shown in the image on the upper right side. And essentially, by having this ground-based measurement directly next to a ground-based instrument, a ground-based remote sensing instrument, we hope to better understand how well the column estimates and then the surface estimates derived from that column estimate, how well that really tracks to the actual air quality at the surface, which can have really important implications for a lot of our work in environmental justice and health and whatever the application may be for this group. So this data set from the 5 monitors in Southern California, which are shown by stars on this map, are available on the STAX archive. If anyone's not familiar with the STAX campaign, it was a flight campaign that took place this past summer, shown in the pink and blue flight tracks on this map. So we had a lot of coincident measurements that we're really excited to be able to compare with formaldehyde and GCAS measurements from the flyover campaign as well, when that data becomes more available. And then the data from our additional monitors that aren't included in this STAX subset will be made publicly available. We're not entirely sure where we're going to publish that data yet, but it definitely will be made public available with open science principles. So if you're interested in using it and don't see it anywhere online, feel free to shoot me an email and I'm happy to share it. I should also mention that in this first release, I've only included ozone and formaldehyde data. We're able to measure a bunch of different pollutants with our air quality sensors and are excited to be able to share more data as we are able to better validate in the future. So that's the bulk of my talk. Again, the data is available at this QR code scan. And then I have a couple of extra slides in here if anyone's interested, if they want to screen grab on or pause the video on these resources. I have a little bit more about each of the instruments that I mentioned, the 2 spectrometers and our low-cost sensors, and then a little bit more information about our low-cost sensors as well. So what sensors we're using and how we calibrate them. I unfortunately wasn't able to travel to Utah this time, but I will be available online for a lot of the conference, and definitely feel free to email me or reach out to ask any other questions related to this. Thank you.